All right, welcome Part B students. Today we are on page 5 and we are learning adding polynomials today. All right, so today we're going to start with this first problem just to warm you up. Let's take a look at like terms. From our previous knowledge, we know that things that have the same variable go together. So 7x plus 2x, that would be 9x. And then we want to combine our constants, or our numbers without a variable. So 5 plus -1 would be +4. So today's lesson is going to be very similar to this, except we're going to add in parentheses. But don't worry, it's just about the same. So we're going to go ahead and do our first example. So I'm going to go ahead and write this, and then we'll take a moment to look at the similarities and differences. All right, there's example 1. So notice we still have coefficients, we still have variables, and we have some exponents, but this time we have parentheses. But don't worry, we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to combine like terms. So we have 2x squared and 3x squared. Together, that makes 5x squared. Now be careful, we don't want to add exponents, just the coefficients in front. Next, we're going to look at x's. I have a 4x there and a 5x there. So 4x plus 5x is equal to 9x. And that's all. We have both of our terms accounted for and nothing else for us to add up. So I'm going to go ahead and box in that answer. And notice the order that I wrote it in. This is called standard form. Now if you recall, standard form means we write it so that we have the highest exponent first to the lowest exponent. Let's try another one. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging because there's more terms to deal with. All right, so again, here we have two sets of parentheses. Remember, these are both polynomials, and we're just going to add like terms. So our first term we're going to look for is another term with x cubed. That's to the third power. There I have two of them. So 9x cubed plus 3x cubed is 12x cubed. Again, notice I didn't add the exponents. Next, I'm going to add the x squared terms. Now remember, take the sign in front of that term. So 5x squared minus 6x squared is equal to -1x squared. You don't have to put the 1 there, but if you want to keep track of things, you can. All right, the next term we should look for is just one with an x, which I have here. Notice there's no other x term, so therefore we're just going to write it as it appears. And don't forget, our last term is one without a variable, and that's called our constant. So we're going to write minus or -17. All right, again, it's in standard form, which means we write our terms from the greatest exponent to the lowest. So this is my final answer. All right, now if we look below, just some quick notes to remember. If you are adding the polynomials, which we are, you just ignore the parentheses. Pretend like they're not there. All right? Make sure your answer is written in standard form. Now remember, standard form means highest exponent to lowest exponent. All right, if you have any questions, you should pause the video at this time and take a look at our examples again. If not, go ahead and turn the page to page 6. We're going to do one more problem together, and then we'll have a little small short assignment for you. So we're on page 6 now, and we're going to take a look at question number 1. So here we're going to find the sum. Remember, sum means you are adding. Here we have two polynomials in parentheses. But remember, if they're in parentheses, just ignore them. So first we're going to look for our x cubed term, because that seems to be our highest exponent. Here I have 3x cubed, and here I have 1x cubed. So if I add those together, I get 4x cubed. The next term I should look for is x squared. So I see that I have an x squared here and here. Now remember to take the sign in front of the term. So negative 5x squared plus 2x squared is negative 3x squared. Again, notice I don't add the exponents. Here we're just adding the coefficients out in front. Next, I'm going to look for an x term. Here I see 1, and I don't see any more. So therefore, I'm just going to rewrite it as it was in the problem. And then finally, we look for our constants, which are numbers without a variable. And I see 1 right here, but there are no others, so I'm going to write it just how I see it, minus 1. This is my final answer. Double check to make sure that it's in standard form. Remember, standard form is writing our terms from the highest exponent to the lowest. All right, for your short assignment, please complete question number 3 and 5 on your own. I'm going to go ahead and box that in and follow the instructions on your Google Classroom page. See the next video for the other side of these two pages.